Okay, hi. At the end of this you will get to see some of the highlights of Video 3, the elusive Video 3, which I've got reasons for not showing, to be honest. And I'll explain that at the end of this section here. But what I wanted to do, I've got 2 other videos coming out this weekend explaining some projects that I've got coming up and stuff that I'm going to be doing. One of the projects that I wanted to sort of start working on is the one I'm about to explain. I've got a circuit running there. I'll show you something. That's set on 20 milliamps, and if you can see that, we're about 4.3 milliamps there, and that's the current that this circuit is drawing. I'll show you the circuit first and what it does. It's based on a 4017, which is a favourite chip of mine, 10 output decade counter, and I spoke about this about a year ago in another video, and I said that I wanted to do what I'm about to do. And basically this circuit just runs LEDs like that. I'm hoping you can see that. There's 100 LEDs there, and each one is being switched on and off intermittently by that circuit, by that chip. Or there's 2 4017s there, there's 10 transistors there, and let's give you a close-up of that. Obviously you can adjust the clock pulse, and you can have it running fast, slow, whatever. I've lost my little turny thing for the pot, but let's see if we can turn this pot with this piece of timber, and there we go. Okay, so that's running crazily now, crazy speeds. We can slow it down, and there are the LEDs. I think what I should do is turn that light off so you can see this properly. So I'll do that just for this demonstration. Okay, so there you can see the LEDs, or some of them. We can slow it right down. We can slow this to ½ a hertz, quarter of a hertz, whatever we want really. And there we go. And that's 100 LEDs. So we'll put the light back on. And what's that got to do with any of this? Well, what I envisaged last year was to run that circuit. I mean, it draws 4.3 milliamps, and there's a 555 timer on there as well for the clock pulse. And there's 2 4017s, as I said. Now, what I envisaged a while back was to use those 10 outputs to switch an LED on, but combine with a battery that I've built, and do that times 10. So the output, one of those transistors could switch this circuit on with this battery, all 10 of them individually, and these batteries would be what I call self-regenerating or self-sustaining batteries, or self-recovering batteries. So you have a battery, it switches the LED on, runs it for a period of time. You could run it for 2 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, and then switch to the next output for the next LED with another battery. And now we can do this with a transistor collector emitter as the switch to switch these things on. That's easy, and that's what I envisage doing. Now the supply, I'm running this at 5 volts at the moment, so we've got to get 5 volts into the circuit, and what I intended to do there was build a 6 volt battery, or a battery with some cells to power the thing. And again, the same setup, self-regenerating battery. Now you can think, hold on, it's going to run out of juice. Well, it is, yeah. So we have two of these batteries, again on sort of a flip-flop circuit, that type of thing. I haven't quite worked it out yet, but I will. So even the batteries that are supplying the power to the circuit would be actually alternating as well. So use a bit of power, take 4 milliamps out of it, switch over to the next one, let that one recover, and vice versa. And that's what I want to do. Now I know there's going to be people shouting at the screen right this minute saying, well, you don't really have to do that, you know, you don't have to have all these batteries on the output. Well, no, you don't. We can do the whole thing from the input power, can't we? You know, there are lots of possibilities, and I haven't really figured out which way around I'm going to do it yet, but I am going to do it. It's one of the projects I want to do. So, you know, that's a little bit about electronics. To further that, before I get into the next bit, I'll say this bit. When I was in electronics years ago, I had a company and we used to make some stuff, and we used to supply Motorola, of all people. A blast from the past there. But while I was in electronics, I was surrounded by like-minded people, i.e. other people that would talk electronics. And I used to eat, drink and sleep electronics. And in work I used to talk electronics. I had an engineer, clever young man called Sean Edwards. Don't know if you're watching, Sean. If you are, hello. So it was all to do with electronics, and wherever I went, the circles that I moved in, I would talk electronics. Now I'm saying this for a reason. You know, all these people I could bounce off of. I'd got my ideas, they'd got their ideas, and somewhere in the middle, somewhere in between, we'd come up with something good. So what am I leading up to? Well, what I'm leading up to is what I'm doing with batteries at the moment. And this is part and parcel why I hadn't showed video 3. I'll get to the point. I'm not surrounded by anyone now at all that I can talk batteries to. Where I live in a small village. There are intelligent people that live around me, and they've got their own subjects. You know, they've got their own commerce, and they do what they do. I've got no one at all to talk to about batteries, to bounce ideas off of, nothing like that. So the bit that I'm getting to then, all I've got is this YouTube platform, this channel, to not so much, you know, bounce ideas off, although we know that, you know, we all talk to each other and stuff like that. But in terms of feedback then, all I've got is this platform. And if I do a video, like video 2, that showed some pretty awesome stuff really, and I get no reaction from it at all, or virtually nothing, in terms of what I actually achieved and what I did, then I thought to myself, well, sorry, I probably got 4 comments that talked about the amount of power that I got and the energy density that I got from that small paper battery. I think I expected far more than that, to be honest. Now this is not a whinge and a moan or anything like that. I'm just stating facts, you know, and the way you can feel. I probably edited down 12 hours of video to get that 1 hour or 1.5 hours, whatever it was, to show a lot of stuff. And so the way it made me feel was, is this going stale? You know, are people really not interested anymore in what I've got to show? You know, because that's what it said to me at the time. Of course, I spoke to a couple of other people since then, and they've said, no, you carry on. So there you go. What I'm trying to say is that you are all I've got, you know. And if you don't say to me, well, that was pretty good, you know, or anything, yeah, that was good, Kev. Whatever, you know, something along those lines. Then I start to feel that something's going wrong. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'll shut up about that now. But I think, I hope you can kind of understand where I'm coming from with this. You're all I've got in this day and age now. Like I say, I've got no one else to talk batteries to, well, apart from myself in the mirror. So that's that bit. Now video 3, this was kind of the drawback. I thought video 3 was going to show a lot more, and I thought, is it worth actually showing this, you know? Not because there's going to be no appreciation, but if I don't get feedback from it, then you lose the will to live, to be honest. You think, shall I carry on? Is it worth it? That's the crux of the matter, to be honest. I mean, yes, you get your bad comments, but that's part and parcel of what we do, and that's it, you know. Apart from, you know, if someone is definitely trying to be a little troll or whatever. So there you go. So what I'm going to do, what I've decided to do, is not just do a full video 3. I'm just going to show some of the highlights now at the end of this, of, you know, what happened, the type of power that was achieved, from something that was a bit of an upscale, you know, not massive, but a bit of an upscale from the original paper battery that you saw in video 2. And that's what I'm going to do. I don't want to bore people with all of the talk and the rhetoric and everything else. I'm just going to show you some highlights, and that's it. That's what I've decided to do. The other thing was, over the last couple of months, I've been wrestling a little bit in my mind as to what to do, because in the last 8 months I've had 3.5 offers, if you like. Well, no, 3.25 offers actually, of collaboration. Would you like to collaborate with us? Now the 3, I'll be honest and tell you what I said to these people. I'm sorry, but at the moment I don't think I actually know enough about what's going on to be able to come to you and collaborate with you. Now it could be that what I know and what they know and put it all together, something in the middle could come good or whatever, but it would mean obviously a commercial venture of some sort. The quarter offer, what was that then? Well, someone said to me, show us everything you got, tell us everything you know, and we may fund a little operation. We may fund an operation. Oh yeah, that's clever, isn't it? That's the way to go, isn't it? You know. So that one was in the bin, wasn't it? But like I say, you know, I had these 3 offers, and you know, you kind of wrestle with your conscience. It wouldn't necessarily mean that I stop doing what I'm doing, and with what I've said, it doesn't necessarily mean anything anyway, because I'm still here doing what I do, having declined 3 offers, although, you know, at any stage I could talk to those people. So my camera's about to shut down now because I can see the battery's low, so I'll stop yapping again and have a look at the highlights of this video 3. You'd be good. Right, well, I've built another battery. It's a little bit bigger than the old one. I'm using this carbon felt material on it. I won't be sticking with it, I must say. I'm going to go back to carbon fibre weave because it's about 4mm thick, and it makes the battery quite thick. And I think it's better suited to where I first saw it in these flow batteries, these big redox flow batteries, and it's a flooded cell, so I think personally that's where it belongs. But I will, as I say, be moving back to my carbon fibre weave on the cathode. At the moment, what you can see there, 3 minutes 32 was an old run I did yesterday at 1 amp. and it was this battery, and I just built it and I charged it for about, I don't know, 4 minutes or something, and just tried it, and that's the result there. I don't intend to do that again right this minute. Because I'm going to go 400 milliamps, hopefully, if this thing lets me. Because I did this the other day, and it said I'd put the wrong parameter in there, but it's the same as it always is, but we'll try it anyway. This has been on trickle charge, and I've just turned it up to 4.3 about 2 minutes ago, so it was on 2.3, it's now on 4.3. But I'm going to turn the charger off and press start at that and see where we go with it at 400 milliamps. But to be fair, I don't really know, how this material works with a big piece like that, so it's all trial and error at the moment. So that's not doing too well, is it? At that, I'm just going to let it run through because this is only the second charge anyway, so I should come back. Okay, I've come back in at 20 minutes there. We're at almost a volt, 400 milliamps constant current load. We got 168 milliwatt hours, 136 milliamp hours, and that strange hump again on the top, the left hand side there on the blue line. Don't know what that represents, but it's a strange one. A quirk in the material, I guess. Now we are stopping at 0.55 of a volt. That's the cut-off this time, because I'm trying to eliminate that glitch that I keep getting at 0.5 of a volt. I don't know if that's a massive change in the electrolyte or whether it's the equipment. But yeah, 21 minutes now, look. I'm just going to let this one play out, and the next test will be 600 milliamps, and the one after that will be 800 milliamps, and the one after that will be 1 amp. So there you go then. I'll come back. Right then, this finished a couple of minutes ago. So that was a 400 milliamp constant current run, 35 minutes. Capacity was 234 milliamp hours, 242 milliwatt hours. So still don't know what to make of all this yet, this particular battery, but what I'm going to do is put it back on charge. I should come back and I should do a 600 milliamp run. Right, well, I'm going to clear that curve. This is me being impatient again. What I'm going to do is change that 4 to a 6, and we're down to 2.4, so I'm going to press start. I don't know, it's been on charge for about 20-25 minutes or something like that. But I just want to get these tests out of the way this evening. Where are we? It's 7:15 PM, so this is 600 milliamps then. Same battery. I've just put some more charge in it. I quite like the idea of that blue line being quite flat. We're going to get that initial volt drop, we know that, because well, you just do with such a heavy load. And I do consider that to be a heavy load, 600 milliamps on something like this, with these carbons and that. but it does tend to get better. These batteries tend to form over sort of you know, 4 to 5 charge cycles. Now that thing there, I don't know what that was. That bit of a glitch, a drop. Mind you, I am. I must admit, I'm leaning on the battery. I was leaning on the clamp, so I'll stop doing that. So I'll come back shortly. Okay, 8 minutes 55 in, almost 9 minutes, 0.9. 600 milliamps, of course. Yeah, capacity and energy, not too bad. 121 milliwatt hours, 92 milliamp hours. I'm just going through the motions at the minute, so you know, with this material. Don't know if it's got any legs yet. We've got that hump again. But we don't seem to be getting that glitch at the end at 0.5 of a volt, so I think I've done the right thing at stopping at 0.55 now instead of 0.4, which is where I've always stopped it. But there you go. Okay, we're just coming to the end of this now, 0.55 being the cut-off point. 22 minutes at 600 milliamps. We've got 215 milliwatt hours energy capacity, and the actual battery capacity 221 milliamp hours. Okay, so onwards and upwards. We've got some recovery again, obviously. I'm going to put this back on charge and go for the 800 milliamp test run. So I'll come back. Okay, so that was the last curve. A bit of a strange one, but we're going to clear it. I'm going to do another run. That was 22 minutes. And I'm going to press start. And what we've got here as a load is 800 milliamps. Now, I'm not expecting miracles, but that's quite flat line, that'll do. I'm guessing I'll come back in about, well, hopefully 10 minutes. Or less. Okay, I've been looking at this and I thought it was doing so well, I'll leave it for 15 minutes, not 10. You never know what to expect, so there we are, 15 minutes in, 0.8 left. So we've got about 0.3 to go. 800 milliamps, not too bad. Capacity 206 milliamp hours. Energy 234 milliwatt hours. I'm kind of testing this new foam, not foam, felt, and we've got to be honest, I don't think it's going to be for me, but I'm going to stick with it now. I'm going to run these tests. The next one is 1 amp, obviously. So if we've done 800 milliamps and we've got 16 minutes there, the 600 milliamp test was 22 minutes. I think we should be able to run 1 amp for quite some time. I can't see why not. So we'll see. After this, I'll be back.
Okay, so here we are. We know it's going to cut off at 0.5 of a volt. This is the 800 800 milliamp constant current load test. Significantly, we've got 23 minutes. Now, the 600 milliamp test went for 22 minutes, but I did say earlier on that this battery likes to form, and over a few charge cycles, with many of them, you know, they're all the same, they get better and better. But I didn't expect that. 23 minutes at 800 milliamp hours. And also, if you look at the recovery, we've got good recovery as well. Significantly, energy 306 milliwatt hours, capacity 313 milliamp hours. I think that's pretty good actually for well, considering we've done a 4, a 6 and now 800 milliamps. So, and to be fair, I charged that for about the same time, 30 minutes, for the 600 and the 800. Well, here we go. I'm going to do first, let's clear that curve, which was the 800 milliamp hour run, milliamp run, I should say. I keep saying milliamp hour, I don't know why. Fixed in my brain. So I'm going to start this run. Usual volt drop there because it's a high powered run. Let's see where it goes. Fairly flat line to begin with. I'm expecting that hump again that we keep getting with this material. Well, let's just see where it goes, eh? Okay, I've come back in at 0.8 of a volt. We're in, well, we're on 7 minutes almost. Significantly, I didn't say before, but this is 1 amp. A 1 amp run. That's 1 amp constant current load. Excuse me. And as predicted, we got that hump. That's got to be a quirk of this material. I don't know how, why, where, whatever. No idea. But you know, 7 minutes 30. Wow, at 1 amp. This is what I've been looking for. This is what I've been waiting for. This is where all the work that you do comes into fruition. I'm getting something right, obviously. Now, you know, okay, I've come back in at 0.56. We're on 13 minutes. And we've stopped. Now, I'm expecting a good recovery as we're getting. So, I'm just going to write that down. 13 minutes. The capacity is down. 221 in fact. Which was exactly the same as the 600 milliamp test, 221. and the energy rating was 204. Which was different to the 600 milliamp run, which was 215 milliwatt hours. Yeah, intriguing. But that, folks, was 1 amp for 13 minutes. To say I'm over the moon would be an understatement, I suppose. This, I don't know. No idea really, but like I say, quirk of the material. And I'm going to put this back on charge. That's all I can say, really. So, excuse me, I'll pause the video and come back. Okay, before we move on, I'll come back shortly and do this next run. Okay then, I'm going to clear that curve. We know what it did. I am the original Mr. Impatient. I know this isn't charged enough. I know that, but I don't care. What I'm going to do is the next run, and that's all there is to it. So I've turned off the charger. I'm going to press start and hope that that voltage doesn't drop too much. Quite a bit, but hey ho. Let's have a look at it. When it levels out, you know, it levels out, still quite flat line there. Massive voltage drop. And you know what I'm going to do? I'll leave the video running. Not much memory left, but let's hope it just hangs in there for this one. I don't expect this to last too long because it's not charged, but you know. What I wanted to see was A, the curve, and B, can it cope? And so far, yeah. Now, is that the start of that hump that we get in that line? I think it is. I don't know for sure, but yeah, there it goes. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? That's the one. There's the hump. Well, a fairly disappointing 2.22 minutes. Fantastic recovery. Straight back up to 2 volts, as you would expect. But that was 1.5 amps. So I guess I'm not complaining really. almost 2.5 minutes at 1.5 amps. Constant current load. Wow. Now I'm thinking to myself now, if I set that at, oh, I don't know, let's start at the original 400 milliamps. Now the video's still running, you know that. Let's clear that curve. We're up to 2.1 volts. Let's press start. Now this is after that power run, 1.5 amps, and this is 400 milliamps. Blimey. Look at that. That's interesting, isn't it? Not much memory left in this phone, definitely. I'm going to press pause and come back. Okay, so we're still there. It's only 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, 1.5 volts, 400 milliamps. After that big power run, I'll be back. Okay, so it's at this stage that I really do wish that I'd have charged that battery up fully to do that 1.5 amp test, but I didn't. However, straight after, as you saw, I set the thing to 400 milliamps and we're still there, 7 minutes in. Can't believe it. But there you go, nice curve at the moment on that second run, well, this second run. Well, nice curve so far. I'll be back. Okay, so as incredible it excuse me, as incredible as it may seem, this thing is still running at 400 milliamps constant current load. We've got 1.3 volts and we're 15 minutes in. That is unbelievable. So I ran this thing at 1.5 amps and it stopped, and straight away I did this. As you saw, no stop in the video, straight into it, and for some reason at the moment we've got a nice curve. Well, a flat line actually, but you know, we can't see that hump for one, for some strange reason, but it is what it is. I'll be back. Well, incredible. 21 minutes, well, 22, 1.1 volts, 400 milliamps, constant current load, still running after that big test, the high current 1.5 amp test, and this straight after. Unbelievable. Well, we are about to come to a stop on this one. It's disappointing because we're not going to do the hour. 2 minutes short, I reckon. 58 minutes, look. Wow. I'm stuck for words. Absolutely stuck for words with this. Don't know what to say. I mean, the curve is almost flat, but erring towards a capacitor curve. I don't know what to say. I charged it up. Now, I did say before all of this, I said that, you know, this battery, this setup, this battery cell, you know, it likes to be charged a few times and, you know, comes into its own. But I didn't expect this. You know, we did a 400 milliamp test, 600, 800, 1 amp, and then a 1.5 amp. Now the 1.5 amp didn't go for very long, you saw that, but straight away I put it into this 400 milliamp run. Straight away after that, a little bit of a recovery, and it's still running. 59 minutes and 33 seconds, almost an hour at 400 milliamps. Wow. And we got recovery. We've got some recovery. That is incredible. Now, what I'm tempted to do, obviously, is wait for that to recover. I don't know, to about 2 volts, hopefully, and go again. You know, just go again. So did I? Did I go again after that? Yeah, I did. Did it do any good? Yeah, it did. What can I say? I ran it for 200 on another 200 milliamps. I let it recover for a bit. 200 milliamps, and it ran for quite some time at 200 milliamps again. All of this is now suggesting to me that the carbons are working quite well. The setup on that battery, I didn't show a lot of the I didn't show any of the battery, to be honest, but it was an upscale. It was about, I don't know, about that big, something like that. Not massive, but what it showed me was that the carbons are working well. Something I've got is right. You know, it's all working. Now, you know, you can call me crazy for trying that 1.5 amps, but there's a reason for it, and I've said this for quite some time now. What I want from a battery or a battery cell that I'm trying to build and construct and design, and that is that the peak power rating is good. You know, I've always mentioned lead acid batteries in the past, and said the same thing, that you know, they give massive peak power, and then, you know, when you've started your car or your truck or your motorcycle, whatever, from your lead acid battery, and use this peak power, that after that, you know, you can run other things and, you know, other stuff. You know, your battery's still good to run lower powered applications after that massive spike that it's had in the beginning. So, you know, that's what that's all about. It's not just stupidity, you know. I want to test it for some good peak power. Okay, it was, you know, it was 2 minutes or whatever it was, I can't even remember now. So yeah, something is happening. The other thing I wanted to explain was what I found out about using this felt. Okay, if we take a piece of carbon fibre weave, I've always collected the current from the end of the carbon fibre weave. So all of the weave, the current is collected through the weave on the end. With that felt, I was doing the same thing. You can't do it. Well, you can, it works, but not well. What you need to do, if let's say this was a piece of that felt,
that carbon felt, you need to collect the current from the whole of the surface of that felt. Otherwise you don't get a good job. You don't get the full effect of what you're after. So there's a pretty good tip on that one. There's nothing more to say really, apart from I'm going to be doing a video in this series with possibly that carbon felt. I'm undecided on that one yet. I've got a few more tests to do with a small battery, which is a video you're going to see, which was something else in itself, and it was testing graphite carbon fibre weave and graphite carbon felt to test all three. So expect that one pretty soon. I'll catch you later.